Is it going?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the thumbs up.
Okay. I'm here to talk about a book that I found for this presentation called Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. This book speaks to my soul. Sadly, I didn't get through the whole thing, so I'll try to cover only the first few chapters. Speaking of even the title of this, coming here today, walking past the kitchen, a guy was narrating his coffee making. People just have to always make noise for some reason. It's something I'll never understand. According to the book, studies suggest that at least 1/3 to 1/2 of Americans are introverts. So statistically speaking, half of you in here are introverts like me. But a lot of you have either had to be trained to hide that or cover it up because of what the author describes as the extrovert ideal. Now, the extrovert ideal is that your ideal self is this gregarious alpha person comfortable with the spotlight, which makes me cringe just thinking about it. But for us, that's what you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be the silent, meek, comfortable in silence type person, because that's not what's ideal in this country. You'll just thinking about this, my life in general, even in an elevator, somebody will walk in and you can just see on their face that they're looking around and they just need to say something in that 15 seconds it takes to use an elevator. And sure enough, right before he'll leave, they'll say something like, "I guess we took the express here, ha ha ha." They just have to have an audience, and it's terrible. So, I don't know if this is something that's just for me or for half of you, but the extrovert personality a lot of times comes off as like a used car salesman. It just seems like to me that they're trying to sell you something, and they want to, it's not necessarily a car, it's more a perception. And it's a perception that they should be trusted, they should be liked, even though they've given you no reason to do so. So going back to the extrovert ideal, you can see this within television, you can see this within movies, you can see this within books. It's always the star that's a risk taker that just jumps into deadly situations without having a plan, saying, "I'll just figure it out, it'll be fine. Everything will work out fine." Those are personalities you'll see, such as Han Solo, Tony Stark, Steve Jobs. These people are put on a pedestal because of their extreme lack of thinking and cautiousness. And people that have the thought process of, hey, maybe we should take a step back, maybe we should think this through, maybe we should have a plan, those type of personality traits are, according to the book, perceived as like second-class citizen personality traits that you shouldn't want to have. They showed an example of parents asking for forgiveness for their children being shy, as if being shy is something that shouldn't be happening, which is also counterintuitive, because parents tell their kids not to talk to strangers, and then you get mad at the kid for not talking to a stranger while you send them mixed signals. The book moves over.
Yes, you're very funny. For being an introvert, you're very, and I'm not being sarcastic.
It just makes me angry. So
And we feel that too.
The book goes into a student by the name of Don. He's in Harvard Business School, and in the Harvard Business School, the way that they are graded and the way that they are assessed is based on how loud they are in class, how much they talk, how much they contribute. And being an introvert as Don is, he only likes to talk when he has something important to say. Like most introverts, they only need to talk when they have something to contribute. they don't need to hear the sound of her own voice. And he feels like he's suffering due to the way that society's built up in that school, because he doesn't know if he's talking enough, he doesn't know if he's contributing enough in conjunction with the way other people are acting. And there's also the fact that social hierarchies are deemed by how often you show up to stuff. If you don't go out one day, they ask you, why weren't you there? You should have been there with everybody else. Everybody else is having fun. Well, my fun isn't with all you people. That's just the way it goes. I'm gonna talk about a sidebar here. I mean, it was a long weekend. Me and a bunch of my friends, we were out having fun. We're sitting at a bar. All of a sudden, I start getting this tickle in the back of my head, and everything that my friends were doing was beginning to become extremely annoying to me. And I'm thinking, why is this happening? I love my friends. I wouldn't be hanging out with these people if I didn't like them, because life's too short to hang out with people you don't like. You got to do it at work, which is bad enough. So why do it in your personal life? And it dawned on me to the fact of I've been with these people probably over 35 hours nonstop, and I haven't had any me time. And it made me realize, like, oh no, jumping Jehoshaphat's. I didn't say that out loud, it was in my head. I need to take a step back for a minute and have a little bit of me time. So I walked away for a little bit, for about an hour, to recharge. And that's another aspect of the introvert person. They need that alone time to have to themselves, because that's how we recharge. It's not that we don't hate people, we don't sit in caves all day. It's just that you need that time to yourself. The book also goes into the ideal of group think. Anybody have any idea who Steve Wozniak is?
Yep.
Okay. How many people do you think were on his team to create the first Apple computer? It was just him. And they had a quote from his memoir, and it says, "Most inventors and engineers I've met are like me. They're shy and they live in their heads. They're almost like artists. In fact, the very best of them are artists. And artists work best alone when they can control the inventions without a lot of other people designing or marketing or some other committee. I don't believe anything really revolutionary has been invented by committee. If you're that rare engineer who's an inventor and also an artist, I'm going to give you some advice that might be hard. Work alone. You're not going to be the best to design revolutionary products and features if you're working on it with other people. Committees are bad, so are teams." And that was another aspect of introverts, at least the introverted personality. They're very independent people. They're very solitary people, so they have better ideas when they are by themselves. And in my opinion, group exercises are terrible. Nothing ever good has come out of it, at least from my experience. I don't know about any of you, but when, like it says, like, ideas from committee never end up to the point of anything that could have been done by one person. It's more the too many chefs in the pot type of thought process. Or you can even see it in TV where a movie's made and you can tell that everybody had to check a certain box, and by checking all those boxes, you destroyed the whole soul of that idea in the first place. So yes, unfortunately I was only able to make it through the first few chapters of this. I would love to get my own copy to read it through, because it talks about a lot of things like how to handle introverted children. It's not their fault that they're quiet or shy. It's not your job to change them. It's your job to just deal with the way they are, especially if they're not hurting anybody. And it's not a good idea to just put them near louder people in hopes that that's going to end up changing them, because it's not. And this might have sounded really, but most of my friends are extroverts. Like, I wouldn't leave my couch if I didn't have them. So it's good to have them around. I'm not trying to like demonize them. I'm just saying people need to understand that the extroverted personality isn't a negative personality. It's just a different personality that should be taken accordingly. Thank you.